funny guy coming to stage. Put your hands together for John Barrett!
Any of you ever think about what your spirit animal would be? I've been thinking about that a lot, actually. I think I finally pinpointed the animal. It's the blanket octopus. It's an Australian animal, and it's notable for two reasons. The first is that it reproduces in a strange way. The male blanket octopus will fill one of its tentacles with sperm and then rip off that tentacle and hand it to a female octopus. The second thing that the blanket octopus is notable for is the defense mechanism it's evolved over the years, which is that over thousands of years it's become immune to the venom in Portuguese man-of-war stingers. So if it's being attacked, it'll find the nearest Portuguese man-of-war jellyfish, rip off its stinging tentacles, and whip its attacker into submission. Now, having the blanket octopus as a spirit animal, it's problematic because it takes like a really long time to fill like a human leg with sperm. But it works out for me because I live in a Portuguese area. So if I'm being attacked, I can just grab one of my neighbors, rip off their arms, and beat back my attacker. It's pretty effective. So I was surfing the internet and I came across this ad that must have been on British TV, and it was a beautiful woman at the precipice of ecstatic sexual oblivion. And just before it's over, the camera peels back to reveal her lover, and it's Adolf Hitler. And text rolls up on the screen to read, AIDS, it's like having sex with Hitler. And my first reaction was, well, that logic is flawed. But on closer examination, I realized that with what we know about AIDS today, it makes a little bit more sense. You're going to have to follow me here. We know that when AIDS was a teenager, AIDS had dreams of going to art school. But the white blood cells in charge of the art programs at that time felt that AIDS lacked talent. So, thanks in large part to non-intervention by the US government, AIDS decimated the population of a continent. But all of this leads me to a cure for AIDS, which is that we wait for AIDS' Japanese buddies to bomb the United States, and then it should take care of itself. I've recently developed like a new way of dealing with like rude service employees, or just like people in general who are giving me a hard time. I just like look at them and shout, "Do you know who I am?" In the hopes that one, they don't, and two, they think that I am more important than I am. Which is not the case. I am exactly as important as I am, if not less so. And this strategy, it tends to work really well when you're dealing with like someone on the subway who's giving you a hard time, or like a cashier. Doesn't work when you're asking your parents for more money. Because they know just how less important I am than I am. So remember the movie Speed? Yeah, that's the right response. Did you know that there was a sequel to Speed? Yeah, it was Speed 2 Cruise Control. And it took place on a boat. So the title was like a pun, but it wasn't really a funny enough pun to justify the existence of the movie. If they wanted to justify the existence of the movie, it would have been the same name and plot, but starring Tom Cruise. Or a slight adjustment in spelling and plot starring Penelope Cruz. And the plot in this one is that Penelope Cruz and Salma Hayek would have bombs in their tongues, and they couldn't speak slower than 800 words per minute. in other movie stuff. Remember, like it was like a year or so ago, a little over a year ago, a movie came out. It was called "He's Just Not That Into You." And it was based on a self-help book, and so this gave me the idea to write self-help books to be turned into movies. The first would be about dealing with stalkers. It would be called "He's Just Way Too Into You." And then I would write its inevitable sequel, "His Knife Is Just Way Too Into You." All right, that's my time. Thank you.
Yeah, Barrett! Table 1, very excited.